Communication exercise Black Swan 22 is underway. We are going to see how it's going so far in a brief episode of Radio KD8TTE. Stick around.
Black Swan, Black Swan.
Black Swan 22 is the 6th annual exercise where we take the internet out of the picture. Why do we do that for an exercise? The internet is resilient. However, there are some occasions, very rare, very high impact, where something needs to be done anyway, and that is the Black Swan situation. That's why we have once a year an exercise where we look to see how we are able to communicate despite tremendous difficulty. This was particularly interesting in 2022 because in the real world, Hurricane Ian started up right about the same time as our exercise. We had players throughout Ohio, also in Minnesota, Oklahoma, and Florida, who were going to be working with each other in a situation that mirrored the kind of difficulty that we would have in the aftermath of a disaster. In addition to having to provide mutual aid and to communicate with one another, we were able to incorporate these real-world events into the exercise play. Of course, any exercise is always secondary to any real-world events, and there were some stations that did drop out because they had real-world work to do. Completely understandable, and that is exactly what we want to happen. Someone with some real-world activity should not be also trying to juggle an exercise. What we were able to do was involve not only the weather reports that would indicate what was happening, being able to gather data from the National Weather Service, but also to deal with some amazing space weather events. We had radio blackout, we had geomagnetic storms, and then to top it all off, we also had some shortwave broadcasters based in Florida that had their antenna arrays being knocked offline. We were able to have stations listening to shortwave broadcasts and to identify when they were able to hear things, what the signal quality was, and then as those transmissions disappeared, we were able to have real-world ground truth information gathered to tell us what was happening and to build a common operating picture. The exercise is still underway. We are going to go into an after-action report, but that's not going to follow until after the exercise is finished and all of the participants have had a chance to perform their hot wash. Stick around for future installments and we'll go into some detail, see some of the things that we have learned and what we have been able to demonstrate with respect to our capability and to get some priorities that we'll have for the upcoming training year. Until then, this is Radio KD8TTE.